I would like to call this meeting to order.
Notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a meeting notice dated December 9th, 2024. Furthermore, on that date, a copy of such notice was sent to the Times, their Chantonian, and the clerk to the Township of Hamilton. It was also posted on the bulletin board at the entrance to the boardroom in the Hamilton Square Administrative Building. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Atwood, roll call.
Yes. Ms. Harvey?
Present.
Mr. Kanka?
Here.
Dr. McSheen?
Dr. McSheen will not be here this evening.
Ms. Soto?
Ms. Soto will not be here this evening.
Ms. Stanton?
Here.
Byrne?
Here.
Mr. Salentano?
Mr. Celentano will not be here this evening.
Dr. Farrar?
Here.
Ms. Thornton?
Here.
We have a quorum.
So before we go into executive session, it is an absolute honor to have the Nottingham High School Band here that's going to be doing a presentation for us. So we're just going to move into the audience. Okay, while they break down, I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming out. There's nothing like music to get us in the holiday spirit, so thank you very much. And as always, it's an honor to be able to highlight and showcase the talent that we have here in Hamilton, so thank you again. So at this time, if I can have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Whereas NJSA 10:4-13 requires adoption of the board to go into executive session, be it resolved that the board pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, New Jersey, Title 18A, and the Hamilton Township Board of Education Bylaw Number 0166, hereby enter executive session to discuss a matter involving human resource matters and matters falling under the attorney-client privilege. Be it further resolved that the minutes of this executive session shall be made public following formal action by the board and/or at the conclusion of any investigation, due process proceeding, or litigation, so long as not prohibited by law and so long as the need for maintaining confidentiality no longer exists. I'm going to call the meeting back to order, and we're going to start with the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to start by asking everybody in attendance tonight for a moment of silence for Robinson custodian Ken Specian, who recently passed away. So if you would please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. I know you join me in keeping Ken's family in your thoughts during this difficult time. I have a block scheduling update. In addition to recent block scheduling training at our district and building levels, we've begun conducting site visits to high schools that have a similar master schedule that we will implement next year. These are great opportunities to learn from other staff, collect data, and identify what areas our district needs to focus on for a successful September 2025 launch. Just want to let the public know that when we do these site visits, there are administrators that are there, but there are also teachers that are part of those site visits. I'm also going to start student meetings in the new year. Some students have expressed concern about going into a block schedule, and I promised them that we will meet to discuss their concerns. These groups will be formed in January at each of our high schools. I'd like to congratulate, and this just came in at the end of the day today, Anna Potovin, an elementary health and physical education teacher at Morgan and Greenwood Elementary Schools. We received notification that she will be receiving the 2025 NJAHPERD Thomas Badola Adapted Physical Education Teacher of the Year Award. And we will make sure that we have Anna out at a future meeting. It's a holiday season, but we are thinking about summer camp. And so I just want to let everybody know that we are planning for the 2025 summer camp program. And so far, we have 83 unique camps. This year, we will implement 4 travel camps, and camp registration opens Friday, January 31st. Couple of meeting dates to keep in mind. The next Special Education Parent Advisory Group, or CPAG, will be held January 13th. The topic is IEP process, interpretation, and services. It will be at Crockett Middle School at 6 p.m. The FASA completion nights for high school students are as follows. January 8th, 6 p.m. at West in the cafeteria. January 9th, 6 p.m. at Nottingham. January 15th at 6 p.m. at Steinert. Our DCR meeting, the next meeting, will be January 14th, and I would like to thank the committee for the December meeting because they also had food there to celebrate the holidays, so thank you for that. The next PTA President's Meeting is Monday, January 25th, and that will be at 7 o'clock at Langtree Elementary School in the school library. And finally, I want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a joyous Kwanzaa, and a Happy New Year. I look forward to working with all of you in 2025. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco. At this time, do any Board of Education members have any comments or things that they would like to report on? I'll start with Dr. Ferrara.
Thank you, Mrs. Thornton. My computer saw Mr. O'Boyle today, so it's happy. I'm going to start with a night of thank yous. I arrived late last month to the November meeting, so I didn't have the opportunity to thank the community for re-electing me to my seat. I truly appreciate your support, and I hope I continue to do the things that I've been doing all these years. Also last month, about a week before Thanksgiving, Dr. Rashawn Monroe, the principal at Klockner, sent me an email. I'm the board liaison to Klockner. And the email read, "The Klockner staff is busy working hard on our annual food drive. We have identified 100 families who will need a Thanksgiving basket. We may have a shortage of about 25 turkeys. I was wondering if you had any suggestions of community partners we could reach out to who might be able to help us." So I just put a note on my Facebook page because honestly, turkey donations like a week before Thanksgiving, I wasn't quite sure who would have them. And this community stepped up in such a way, it was so heartening. In fact, there were so many turkey donations that Klockner got its 25, Greenwood got 5, Cooser got 7, and a couple of the turkeys went to Wilson. And that's on top of the annual donation that the district receives of 5 turkeys per school from DePaola. So I just want to thank everyone who brightened Thanksgiving for district families. It was just, I was very appreciative. And finally, a shout out to Vinny Scalfani, affectionately known around Wilson School as Mr. S. And I'm also the board liaison to Wilson. Each year, Mr. S plays Mr. Santa Claus by organizing a growing number of volunteers who buy Christmas presents for every student who attends Wilson School. And that's over 500 students this year. And tomorrow, starting at 9:15 and unfolding all day long, Mr. S will be delivering those gifts to the kids, and they will be opening them in their class. So again, another thank you to all of you who helped Mr. S as elves. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Ferrara. Ms. Stanton?
I wanted to thank both West and Grice for including me recently in some Thanksgiving festivities that had happened since we'd all seen each other last. And I wanted to also wish everyone a happy holiday and a great new year. And hopefully we are able to continue to make great moves for the district in 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Ms. Harvey?
Thank you. I also would like to thank Wes as I was able to attend the Thanksgiving Day event. It was a great program to see the students in action, working and cooking food and serving food, and it was great to get to talk to some of the staff members there. I also want to congratulate the Crockett Middle School Orchestra program that recently had its concert for the winter concert. The kids did a great job, and it was nice to go into the school and see such a large orchestra program. You could actually see, because they started with the 6th grade, the program is blossoming and doing really well. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. I would also just like to wish the community a happy and healthy holiday season and new year.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. Ms. Byrne?
Sure. I'd like to take a moment to talk about December 1st through December 7th is National IBD Awareness Week. So I'd like to acknowledge our local IBD Hamilton family. IBD, for those who don't know, is irritable bowel disease. It's a serious autoimmune disease. Many people belong to this community. Unfortunately, I do, and 3 of my children. IBD can be very debilitating. It can also be very life-threatening. As in my case, I lost my colon to this disease in 2019. So I just want to recognize that this time of year, while many of us will be celebrating with our families, those who have very sick children might be at hospital receiving Remicade rescues or blood transfusions. I know I have with some of my children. So I just want to wish them, all of my colleagues, senior staff, and our entire community a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a happy and healthy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Friend. Mr. Kanka?
Nothing really to report. I really didn't do much since the last meeting, but I do want to wish the community a safe and prosperous holiday season, and hopefully we'll see everybody safe and sound in the new year. So be careful, be safe, take care of your families, and be with your families.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. So just a few things. Mr. Celentano could not be here this evening. It is his last board meeting, and he did ask if I would just say a few words. He wanted me to extend his best wishes to the new board member and the board for next year. He wishes everyone a very happy holiday, to all our teachers, our support staff, directors, administrators, superintendent, and the community. So I just wanted to, make sure that I was able to give you his message. And in regards to announcements, so I actually do have a couple announcements. During the holiday season for Thanksgiving, I was able to attend the traditional football game on Thanksgiving Day. Although the weather was not as cooperative and it was quite a rainy day, I will have to say that did not stop our community from coming out and continuing this tradition. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. It was a wonderful day. Although, like I said, the weather wasn't great, but since we had the turf fields, I guess it made it that much easier. So with that, I also would like to extend my well wishes for a happy holiday and a very happy and healthy new year. I'm looking forward to the new year for 2025 and all the wonderful things that it's going to bring. So with that, I'm going to move on to our student representatives. And I will start with Steinert, Gino DiNatale.
Good evening, everyone. This month at Steiner, we are partaking in a lot of activities. The first one is the door decorating contest. Teachers and students come together to decorate each classroom door. Voting was just put out just yesterday and ended today, so we will find out the results probably by Friday. It's very fun to walk around the hallways and see all the lights and blow-ups and everything like that. It's very fun. Winter sports are also underway. Wrestling won the Ewing tournament just this weekend. Our band concert was Monday for the winter concert, and then our vocal concert is tonight. It's actually happening right now. Spirit Week was a success in November. Staff and seniors are tied for first place. We beat West on Thanksgiving, and as well on Thanksgiving were our senior days for football, band, and cheer. December 10th, we had a distracting driving assembly to raise awareness to sophomores, juniors, and seniors about distracting driving and what the outcomes could be of it, which was very important. Spartones sang at, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Halloween Farms on December 14th, which is this Saturday. Key Largo trip had taken place for select AP and marine biology students. They left the 11th and just got back this Sunday, the 15th. The choir sang carols on Friday. They went to class, or they're going to sing carols on Friday. Going to classroom, singing carols during lunch periods. also fun to see as well. And then the orchestra played at Quaker Ridge Mall as well. And then the baseball team, they had lunch with ASD students, sponsored by Teamwork, which is a New Jersey organization devoted to raising autism awareness. And also, I'd like to wish everyone a happy holiday and Happy New Year as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And now for Nottingham, Lanai Odom.
Hello. I'm gonna start off with our Spirit Week. This week was our Spirit Week. Today was Ugly Sweater Day. There was a lot of cooperation, which was really silly to see. We have our pep rally on Friday with a lot of cooperation from both teachers and students. There will be performances from cheerleaders and step team, I believe, which is gonna be so amazing for everyone to see. Our swim team beat West this month, 107-49. We had our first boys basketball game yesterday, and tomorrow is our first girls game. So we're very excited for those. We're selling these really, really cute little plushies for student government. For student government in order to fund whatever projects we may have in the future, which is really, really sweet. We sold out in the first 3 days. I believe we're on our 3rd or 4th batch, which is super, super, super duper fun. National Honor Society right now is donating. We donate every month, but this month specifically for Christmas time, we're donating for, I forget the name of the cause. Let me see if it's on here. Like small trees, it's called the Giving Tree, sorry. It's really, really important and sweet to see. Cookies with Santa happened last Thursday, and we also have our librarian and her helpers are doing this like baking drive. It's really, really sweet as well. We're making money with that. I'm not sure where the funding is going, but I know that they're making a lot of money off of their hot chocolate. Little Shop of Horrors, our play, is making great, great, great improvement as the days go on. And everybody is really crunching and working hard to be successful at Nottingham. So, yeah, happy holidays.
Thank you very much. So for West, Cameron Mooney could not be here this evening. She has her vocal concert. So we will move on to committee reports, and I am going to start with Mr. Kanka for Finance and Operations.
Thank you. Finance and Operations, we had our initiatives meeting on December 11th at 8:30 a.m. I would like to thank the committee members who were in attendance, plus the senior staff members who attended. We actually had a pretty full house this month, which I was really, really happy to see. We got into the meeting started out with communications for Dr. Rocco. He reported that he was working on the BOE and the community updates that will be posted before the holiday break. Then we moved into, we had our annual visit from our auditor, John Swisher, who presented a draft of the audit that was performed within the district, and he reported that there was no findings or any recommendations that had to be addressed at this time. He also went over some of the numbers that we had that the district has been going through for the whole year, and finalizing the cap. We had one remaining item, the finalization of the capital asset report, which was hopefully going to be available today, which is not. It's going to be the final report is going to be presented in January of 2025. We're just waiting for a couple items to be finalized and going over with our capital assets. John was planning come into tonight's meeting, but that has now been postponed to January, which is not a problem. Then we had, we had some good conversation with John on some of the things that he had talked about, and I had asked him about some items that we had issues in the past. Now, do we go over, just because we clarified a lot of the stuff that happened in the past, do we go back over that stuff? And he reminded me that, yes, that is a given with his firm. They go back and they back check a lot of stuff that we had issues before. So, but like I say, we're in really good shape, and I'm glad that the entire staff was there to assist. Mrs. Atwood's staff was there to assist with any questions that anybody had, and it was a positive meeting, and I'm really thankful for the work that they do, and Mrs. Atwood's staff on this procedure. Then I requested that Jim O'Boyle come in and provide us with a security update. He presented us with some of the things that are ongoing, and because of everybody remembers back in I think it was September or October of 2023, we had an incident, and Mr. O'Boyle has assured us that whatever needs to be done is being done. And I assured Mr. O'Boyle that if there's any financing that needs to be done, then we'll discuss it to try to stay ahead of the curve, because as everybody knows, these people that are trying to hack into not only us, hospitals, government entities, and stuff like that, just because you stop them and you figure out what they're doing, they're not going to quit. So I want to make sure that the district stays up to date on everything to make sure that we make it as difficult as possible for anybody to breach our systems. And if the ID department needs anything, I'm sure that the board will go along and make sure he has the resources he needs to make sure that we make it as difficult as possible. And I thank Jim O'Boyle for his cooperation and his attendance to this matter, because it's a very serious matter. Then we moved on to we had another conversation about it was just a basic conversation on the preschool funding grant and county improvement authority finance opportunity. It's something that we had talked about, that there's an opportunity for the district to fund construction of a preschool in the township that could house possibly up to 350 children. There's money that's being thrown at us by the state of New Jersey, and then which would cover about 40% of the cost. And we're looking at the county. They have a finance program that is going to offer some assistance in this program, and we figure with the finance office and the committee that there'd be almost zero cost to the district for this. For the taxpayers, there will be we're hoping that there's going to be no tax increase on this, and it's something that we've been discussing for many months, and this opportunity came around, and we're really excited about the initiatives that the state has offered us and the county has offered us to make this happen in the near future. So Like I said, it's all preliminary. We're hoping that we're going to get some more details as the months go by and get this thing rolling, because there's a time limit on the amount of money that we have to spend, and we want to take advantage of this opportunity. And this is also going to be part of the report on the facility strategic plan, which is going to take place in January. And then we moved into the facility strategic plan for its final presentation. I believe we have one more meeting on January the 6th. I believe it's before the final draft is presented to the public, which is apparently tentatively right now January 2nd, or 22nd, I'm sorry, for final presentation to the public. I want to thank Dr. Rocco. I want to thank all the people who attended those meetings and had input into those meetings. I attended several meetings, and it was a collaborative effort with people. We all broke down in groups, and we all worked together to put together what we thought was the most needed for the district at this time. And we're hoping that we can move ahead and get the ball rolling. It's an effort that was put forth by this administration that I have never seen before. I've lived in this township my whole life, and the previous administrations, if we had just been as proactive as this administration has been, we may be talking about maybe a smaller project, but we really have fallen behind in a lot of avenues. So we're looking to move this forward, and with the help of the community and the support of the community, to make this school district a district that's going to be more appreciated and by the state and the community above. And like I said, that's going to be on January 22nd. Then we moved into some of the projects we had. We had the layover HVAC rod grant bid. The bids were opened on, it says on Tuesday. I don't know which date that was, but I did see the memo from Mrs. Atwood that the bids came in under the expected estimates, which we were pretty excited about, and that the layover project is on tonight's agenda for approval. So we're looking forward to that taking place. There's also a similar project similar to the HVAC. It's a project similar to the HVAC upgrades completed at Mercerville and Greenwood, which including air conditioning in the larger spaces. And that is also a rod grant project that was being funded by 40%, and the district will share the remainder of that, which will be funded by capital reserve. We talked about the annual high school trip, band trip to Disney from the Booster Club, and the trip that takes place virtually. It takes place every year, and the names of the people and the staff that will be attending that trip. Then we moved on to the macro budget. It was just a brief presentation for macro on the budget, expressing there were some concerns about some district funding for state aid this year. We talked about the 2% tax levy that is available to, every single year for the budget. And the district has a significant amount of money, like $4 million available through bank cap. So we're looking to hopefully be able to offset if there's any decrease in funding with those other initiatives that are available to us. And we will be, the budget process, believe it or not, for 25 and 26 will be starting very, very shortly, and if it has already started this month or at the beginning of next month. And the current budget right now includes $10 million in one-time cap projects, upgrades to the North Auditorium, the Rod Grant project, which I just discussed, the Laor School, high school roofs, electrical upgrades to Klockner and McGalliard. And those electrical upgrades are to remove circuit boxes that are probably in there since the 1950s, and there's no longer any type of spare parts or anything available for these. So there's just going to be a complete upgrade of those circuit panels in Klockner and McGalliard. And then there's an additional ADA bathroom project for Alexander School. So, and then we talked about, there was a couple of all committee agenda items. I'll just touch on one, and it was the newspapers that we advertised for the meetings. There's apparently the Trenton Times is going out of business, or they're not going to reprint a newspaper no more, and by statute we have to advertise in 2 newspapers, and there's really the only one that's left around here is the Trentonian. So we're in discussion about if it can be posted on the electronic form, if that's the same thing as a paper copy of a newspaper. And I want to touch on one other item. I asked Mrs. Atwood to, last meeting I had brought up about with our food service, the way that it was laid out as far as deficits, comparison from this year to last year. Mrs. Atwood sent me an email with those figures, and I can't stress this enough. We've been asking the public just to fill out the applications for these free and reduced lunch. Just this year, we had a carryover of last year of $71,000 of people that were eligible for free and reduced that didn't fill the applications out. And this year, it's already $62,866 of people that were eligible that never filled out the application, or they filled it out late. And now they're in the program, but the district has to absorb that deficit. And our deficit right now, our total negative deficit is $269,868 of kids that were applicants that filled it out that were not eligible. But there's $123,000 that were eligible that we are stuck with that bill. And that brings our negative deficit as of 12/1/2024 of $393,555 that were in the negative on this food service. And that includes people not filling out the paperwork that is required to make them eligible for free and reduced, and people just not paying when they come to school. You know, we had a young lady here last meeting talking about, middle school sports and stuff like that. And, those items take money, but if we have to put money out for people that aren't paying their fair share, it takes away from programs that we can get into this district to help, that these kids want. So I'm just trying to get it across to everybody. Please, pay your bills, fill the paperwork out, and maybe we can get this deficit reduced and get this money to be used for other things than paying for people that don't pay for their lunches or are eligible for free and reduced that are not filling the paperwork out, where we have to pay for those lunches because we can't go back and collect the money once it's already been spent, or once the cost has already been passed on to the district. We can't retroactively go back and collect money once if somebody doesn't fill out the application for September and in December, they're eligible. From September to December, we can't go back and collect that money. It's a loss to us. So that's why I always try to say it to everybody, please fill the paperwork out. It just makes it easier on the administration, and it's more cost effective to the district, so we can spend that money elsewhere on other programs for the children. And other than that, our next initiative meeting is on January 15th at 2025 at 8:30 a.m. And that concludes my report. If anybody on the board has any
Mr. Pinkett, do you have anything for
questions.
negotiations before we go into questions?
Negotiations. The negotiation committee, which consisted of myself, Mrs. Thornton, Dr. Rocco, Mrs. Atwood, and our board attorney, Patrick Carrick. We had a negotiation session with the directors. We had a preliminary meeting in I believe it was on November the 12th, where we went over some ideas. We got together after that, and we came to a tentative agreement when Dr. Altabello brought the final the numbers to his people. Everything was in agreement. An MOA was created by Patrick Carrick. We came in on December the 2nd, and Dr. Rocco's office and Dr. Altabello brought in the MOA. We all signed it, and the contract is on tonight's agenda for board approval. And I wanted to thank the administration, Mrs. Thornton, Patrick Carrick, for their productive language and helpful consideration for what we needed to do. I wanted to thank Dr. Altabello and his group for a conversation about this contract that was professional, amicable, and I couldn't have asked for a better conversation with those people. They were flexible. We were both flexible, and I think we reached an agreement that makes everybody happy. It's a 5-year deal. So we were happy about that, and we're moving on from there. We're moving on to our next negotiation, which would be the administrators next year. So we got a break for a couple months, and then we'll move on. But like I say, kudos to the directors and to our side for productive conversations. If anybody has any questions, I will be glad to take them. If I can't answer them, I'll get you the answers.
So I will actually start with Dr. Farrar. Do you have any questions on the committee report?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Stanton?
I actually do. So, Mr. Kanka, do we know whether the lunch debt has been affected in either way by the initiative with the state that now any children that are on Medicaid receive free and reduced lunch? Has that affected anything for us? Because I know that for a lot of families, if their children were on Medicaid, they didn't have to fill out the application and automatically got the services.
I believe they still have to fill it out. I'd have to ask Mrs. Atwood
Okay.
if they're on Medicaid.
Well, I can tell you it was a significant increase to us. So we were notified through what's called direct certification directly that those students that were eligible were automatically free and reduced. And so they were able to receive free meals right away. So whether they still had to fill out the application, I actually didn't think excuse me? They don't have to. Yeah, so no. So it's actually helped every district in the state, this direct certification. It actually makes me a little worried because everybody now is, going to be reporting, the same increase. I'm thinking state aid in my head, by the way.
Right.
But when it comes to our students, it's great because it was a significant increase and we were able to have more go on free and reduced right away.
So do we think that's helped with potential debt for the district? Because it sounds like from Mr. Kanka's numbers, we still have a higher debt at this point than we did last year at this point without that initiative in
But
place.
actually, we have an increase is less than last year. That was
Oh,
one
okay,
of the
good.
things I showed him. We've grown in debt, but it's not as high as we had a year ago.
Okay.
In
So that might-
terms of the
yeah.
growth from the start of the year.
Yeah,
And we are higher in free and reduced now than we were last year.
Yeah, the percentage of increase is lower, but we still have a higher debt.
Okay, right, because it's continued to build as we go
And it carries over from year to year.
year to year.
so.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Harvey, any questions? Ms. Byrne? Okay. So thank you, Mr. Kanka. I will move to Curriculum and Instruction Committee report. Dr. Ferrara?
Thank you, Mrs. Thornton. Good evening, everyone. The C&I Committee met on December 11th. Ms. Stanton and I were present. I'm going to structure my report a little differently this evening by reporting on some of the initiatives we discussed in committee first, and then I'll highlight what's on the agenda that needs our approval. As Dr. Rocco mentioned, and the community, most of the community knows, the district will be moving the high schools to block schedules come September 2025. The planning and professional development for the change is well underway. As Dr. Rocco mentioned, we have people who are doing site visits to AP classes at Lawrence High School and Manchester High School. More than 60 HTSD teachers are involved in these visits, which are designed to give our teachers a window into best practices for teaching within an 80-minute block. And while block scheduling will be new to HTSD, this kind of structuring for high schools has been in place for more than 30 years. Personally, having taught in a block schedule model and having taught college classes, which sometimes run for 90 minutes, I find these models will provide more instructional time, and the schedule also provides time for teachers to do some individual instruction and feedback. So I think once we get going, I think teachers will find that this block scheduling is it's very productive. I think it's better than having kids move every 40 minutes. District teachers will be sharing observations from these site visits with Mr. Scotto, and that information will be used to help design additional professional development for the high school faculty. Continuing to look ahead to September 2025, Dr. Rocco has assembled a team of teachers to address kindergarten readiness. As we discussed briefly last month, childhood has changed in many ways, and students coming to school don't necessarily bring the same levels of readiness with them. Consequently, the committee is gathering data from the district's kindergarten teachers in an effort to make sure the district's kindergartens are addressing student needs and strengthening parental outreach. Committee feedback will also be used to design future kindergarten programming. Some of the schools already do it in the summer and in the late fall, or right before school starts, for incoming families. And I'm going to direct everybody to Dr. Rocco's community newsletter, which came out today, which has a section which talks about what parents can do to help their children be ready for kindergarten in the fall and current kindergartners to be ready for first grade. Finally, Mr. Scotto spoke with us about what is called sheltered English instruction training for our faculty. Many of our students come into the district speaking a foreign language and needing to learn English. In order to help those students with that transition, teachers are learning a variety of skills and strategies which will help them adapt their instruction to the level of the student who is learning English. To date, 45 of our middle school and high school teachers have taken part in this professional development. Now, motions that we are being asked to approve tonight. Motion 4 asks us to approve a program called Count on Me Kids for 8 first grade classes in the district. This is a social emotional learning program from Campfire, an organization that has provided programming for the district in the past. According to Campfire, the objective of this program is to equip children with the tools they will need to become assertive and self-reliant. It is designed to help students increase their self-esteem and effectively overcome negative peer pressure through original, age-appropriate, and engaging storytelling sessions. This is an 8-week program. It is being funded by the Hamilton Alliance under the direction of Chris Helwig, and the cost is about $900 a classroom. The district's guidance department will identify the 8 first grade classes. The Hamilton Alliance is also known by the name Hamilton Alliance Against Substance Abuse. It is a volunteer committee composed of representatives from the mayor's office, HTSD, the court system, the healthcare community, law enforcement, and the community at large, and this money has come through a grant. Motion 5 asks us to approve a memorandum of agreement with Princeton University for an initiative entitled Knowledge for Freedom. This initiative is being funded by a grant awarded to Princeton from the Teagle Foundation. The Teagle Foundation was established in 1944 by Walter C. Teagle, the longtime president and later chairman of the board of Standard Oil Company, the same company which was founded by J.D. Rockefeller. Among the many causes Mr. Teagle wanted to support, he especially identified wanting to fund institutions of higher learning and research. He also wanted to ensure assistance for his family members of his employees who worked at the corporation. Thus, Knowledge for Freedom is designed to identify this year's high school juniors who would be the first in their families to attend college, whose family income would stymie such an opportunity, and those who have an interest in studying humanities, political philosophy, and the classics. In writing the grant proposal, Princeton University named Nottingham and West as locations for identifying students for this free 3-week summer program. There are 16 openings available to the district. Selected students would live at Princeton University during the duration of the 3 weeks with all expenses paid. They also would get a computer. If approved, the district would agree to work, if the memorandum of agreement is approved, the district would agree to work with Princeton on this program for 3.5 years. And Princeton will consider expanding the program possibly next year for Steinert. The MOA notes that there will be follow-up sessions with the students in the district. Staff from Princeton will work with HTSD guidance counselors and teachers to help identify potential students. Once identified, there will be information sessions for those students and their parents, and interested students will have to apply to the program by March. And the application process is very rigorous. Motion 9 asks for the approval of the curriculum guide for honors accounting. As we discussed last month, the district is getting ready for a review by the state of New Jersey called CUSAC, and Mr. Scotto and his team are making sure that all the curriculum guides are in order. And just a heads up on motion number 7, because the district is using a new math curriculum, those textbooks that are being decommissioned are for the old math curriculum. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ferrara. So I will start with Mr. Kanka. Do you have any questions on the curriculum and instruction
not.
committee report?
No.
Ms. Byrne?
Yeah, I had a question about the Greenlight Grants Initiative. That's a program that, do we pay to participate in that? How does that work?
No, that's a free program. So my Superintendent's Association National Association put out a call for anybody that might be interested to participate. There were 2 interview process to kind of feel out what districts need. It's about safety and security. And there are 2 different pockets of this program. And one is for school safety and security for what they call target hardening, which we've done a lot of that over the last couple of years, and then on programming. And so going through conversations with the individuals, they felt that we would be better suited for the programming opportunity. And so it's the Green Lights Grants Initiative is started through Matthew McConaughey, and his foundation wanted to make it easier for school districts to apply for federal grants. And so I actually just had a call with one of the individuals today, and we'll start in January, and we'll be working with a nationally trained grant writer who writes federal grants to not only teach us how to write grants, but by the time we're done working with them, we will have a grant submitted. The reason for the call today was that the timeline of about 5 or 6 months that we're supposed to work together has now been sped up. And so based on some information they have about some grants that are going to become available. So we will have on for approval in the future a federal grant to submit as a result of this work, and then there'll be a team of us working on it. Yep.
Any other questions, Mrs. Byrne? Okay. Ms. Harvey?
I have a question about the Count on Me program. I know you said it's not decided yet, but it looks like a great program, and I'm just wondering if there has been a thought process that rather than targeting specific classes, that you can target the specific students who would most benefit from the objective of increasing self-esteem and overcoming negative peer pressure. I'm just wondering if maybe that there would be some consideration that certain youth are susceptible to those sorts of issues, and maybe if we can target them, because while there's only 8 classes and we have 17 elementary schools, is there an equitable way that the students who can maximize a benefit?
So we've had a lot of talk about the equitable distribution of those lessons. So they're designed for classes, but I think a byproduct of that instruction will be what you're talking about, is identifying students that might benefit from either one-on-one counseling or small group instruction or something like that. So I believe that'll be a byproduct afterwards, but the way the grant is written is it's whole class instruction.
Ms. Stanton?
I have no questions, but I will take the opportunity while we are open in curriculum and instruction to just go over the gift donations, which would be number 10 under curriculum and instruction. We have received from the Rotary Club of Robbinsville and Hamilton to Greenwood Elementary School transportation for K through 5 to the Philadelphia Zoo. That values to $3,533.84. We were given from Century Transportation to the District Community Relations Committee, Shirts for Leadership Committee, value at $370. We were given from Golden Dawn Diner for the student services at Reynolds Middle School, a pancake breakfast for a community-based instruction program, valued at $300. The Knights of Columbus from St. Gregory's gave to the district winter jackets, valued at $400. Marvina Brown gave to the district children's clothing, valued at $350. And the First Day of School Foundation gave to Hamilton High School West supplies, equipment, and programming valued at $1,000.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the Personnel Committee. Unfortunately, Dr. Machine could not be here this evening, so he did ask me to go over the Personnel Committee and our report. Personnel Committee met on December 11th. And we discussed various items that the other committees discussed as well, that you will see on the agenda for this evening. We also discussed some new legislation that could have a potential impact on our Human Resource Department. And we discussed our continued recruitment that we are working on. And again, I would like to thank Dr. Copeland for his continued efforts and success in recruiting for our district. Sometimes it's a challenge, but you've done a wonderful job, you and your staff, and I want to thank you for that. We also discussed some of our current vacancies that we have, and I'm happy to say that there are not as many as we've seen in the past, so that's always nice going into the new year. You will see various items on the agenda for this evening, new appointments, and as Mr. Kenka said, you also have the contract for the directors on the agenda for this evening. So that is all that I have for the Personnel Committee. Does anyone have any questions on personnel? Ms. Stanton? No. Ms. Harvey? No. Ms. Byrne? Mr. Kenka?
No.
So I would also like to go over the DCR committee report as well. Dr. McSheen did send me the chair, Lady Cassandra Hodges-Jones, thank you very much, her report. So the DCR committee met in December. They met at Sayin Elementary School last Tuesday, December 10th, and they learned a fun fact about the origins of the gingerbread man, and then they dove right into their subcommittee discussions. They're continuing to build strong relationships with our district stakeholders and welcome new members. We do still have co-chair vacancies open, and anyone interested in joining the DCR as a general member or as a co-chair, please reach out and email them. I believe that the email should be on our website under the DCR tab. They also had some holiday refreshments after the meeting to bring in the season of joy and giving. And their next meeting, for anyone that's interested, is Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, from 5 to 6 at the Steiner Media Center. And the DCR committee would like to send their holiday wishes. May the holiday season end the present year on a cheerful note and make way for a bright and fresh new year. Remember to remain present during the season and enjoy the quality time with your loved ones. Wishing you and your families a very happy holiday. Okay. Do I have any questions on the DCR committee? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to, sorry, I have to, okay.
I had my.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. My apologies, Ms. Harvey. PTA committee, please.
I attended the PTA President's Committee meeting in November with Dr. Rocco, and I just wanted to let the community know that there is a joint action plan by all the PTAs in the district to collect new or unused winter jackets from size 5T to adult, gloves, mittens, hats, scarves, and socks. So that's something that if you have a donation, you can go through your own school's PTA, and they will be doing a joint initiative to collect those items for, I think it's Shine and Inspire, the nonprofit, and it's to help our community who need these winter items. Thank you.
Ms. Harvey, if anyone wants to donate, do they just go through their PTA at their school and they can drop it off there?
Yes, there will be flyers coming out from each PTA beginning in January, but I just wanted to put that out there so that if people over the next week happen to get gifts that they don't want that include gloves, hats, mittens, scarves, and coats, that they know there will be a home for them of people who need them.
Ms. Harvey, do we have any questions on the PTA committee report? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to monthly suspension report. Monthly HIB report. Mr. Kenka?
I want to thank, I forget who I think it was Dr. Altabello. Oh, was it Kim? I can't thank her, she's not here tonight, but I'll thank her anyway. I had requested that we have a comparison from 23 to 24. It is on there. And I just want to thank Ms. Ferlato for getting that updated for us so we can make a comparison.
Thank you, Mr. Kenka. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, monthly health report. none, we'll move on to hearing of the public on agenda items. Do we have anyone signed up? Okay, so we do not have anyone signed up for hearing of the public on agenda items, so I will close that portion, and we'll move on to the agenda. We'll start with curriculum and instruction. Dr. Farrar, can you take us through curriculum and instruction?
Absolutely. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move curriculum and instruction items 1 through 11.
Second.
So we'll move on to see if anyone has any questions on curriculum and instruction. Dr. Ferrara?
No.
Ms. Stanton?
No.
Ms. Harvey? Ms. Byrne? Mr. Kanka?
No.
So I did have a few questions in regards to item number 5, but I know that that is time sensitive. So I will wait to get clarification on that. It seems like a wonderful opportunity, but I just wanted to let everyone know we're just waiting on some answers to some questions that we had. Seeing that there's no other questions, Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Mr. Kanka, can you take us through finance and operation?
As per recommendations of the superintendent, I move finance and operation motions 1 through 13.
Second.
Mr. Kanka, do you have any questions on finance and operation?
I have none.
Ms. Byrne?
No.
Ms. Harvey? Ms. Stanton?
No.
Dr. Ferrara?
No.
Seeing that there is no questions for finance and operation, Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Ms. Harvey?
I'd like to abstain from number 7, line 1, and yes to the rest.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
I need to abstain motion 9, bills list, page 7, check 252515. And also abstain from motion 9, bills list, page 11, check number 2506035. Yes to the rest.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
So I'll take personnel items. Ms. Harvey, can you take us through personnel items?
Sure. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I'd like to move personnel items 1 through
13.
13. Sorry. It was
Second.
Dr. Farrar, do you have any questions on personnel items?
I do not. I thank Dr. Copeland for just like right up to the last minute, just filling spaces. It's very hard to find teachers right now, and thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Stanton?
No.
Ms. Harvey? No. Ms. Byrne? No. Mr. Kanka?
No.
So I would like to recognize our retirements for this evening. We do have 3. So a special education teacher at Hamilton High School West, 20 years service to Hamilton, Catherine Augustniak. Math interventionist at Grice Middle School, 32 years service to Hamilton, Karen Poria. And a teacher of the arts, Reynolds Middle School, 25 years service to Hamilton, Teresa Obdusky Glordiano. I want to thank you so very much for your service here in Hamilton and your dedication, and we wish you all the best in your retirement. Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Ms. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes.
Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Salantano? Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
So we're going to move on to other business. So I'm going to start with other business. I did mention at last month's meeting, we were looking at reorganization for January 2nd, I believe at 5:30. So I just wanted to confirm that we are all set for January 2nd at 5:30. And I believe that's at Wilson,
Wilson.
correct?
Wilson.
Wilson. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, I just wanted to make sure in case there were any issues. I believe we've already spoken with Ms. Williams, and that date worked for her as well. Okay. Any other items for other business, Mr. Kanka?
I forgot to mention, under board announcements, I did attend the Hamilton Education Foundation meeting in December, and they went over, their basic agenda was finance and stuff like that, and it's really, I just sit there and listen, and if they have any questions about the district, I'll answer them, but there was nothing this month.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. Ms. Byrne? Ms. Harvey? No? Ms. Stanton?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara?
Mr. Kanko, who's president of the foundation now? Because wasn't it like the person who ran Princeton Bank?
Yes, but she moved to Georgia.
Okay, so there's a new one.
The guy, the president, I believe it's Jack Blair, but
It's Jack
don't
Blair.
hold me to that.
Jack Blair, okay.
Thank you.
He's who I get my correspondence from,
Okay.
Jack.
I was just
And
curious.
the meetings are at, Nottingham Agency over by across from St. Greg's.
Got it.
So seeing that there is nothing else for other business, we will move to hearing of the public on school-related matters. I do have 2 individuals signed up, and we will start with Janice Klonick.
Okay,
I would be.
last meeting, we had the report on things, and I am not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'll be the first one to admit to that. But I had no idea what HIB stood for when they were talking about that in reports. So it would be nice, like next report, if you're given initials or something, to explain it like Mrs. Burns did today when she was explaining what her thing was, what it was. But some very nice lady back there explained to me what the HIB was after the meeting. So next time, if you're doing, because you guys know this stuff, this is just substantial to you, but we who are not involved in that had no idea what these letters stand for. So that would be nice. And the last meeting also, someone talked about bullying. What can people do about it? And the kids need to know how horrible it really is, even if it's not, even if it's not happening to them. So maybe like in the health classes and all, you could have discussions on it, that if you see something happening to somebody, maybe you could do something to stop it, such as, oh, well, Dina, come over here, don't worry, talk about that, come talk to me, get them away from it, or, and then try to make them feel better about things that are going on and help them. But if they're afraid to do something like that, then they need to tell somebody, like a teacher or something. If they see this is happening in the school, they need to tell somebody to get it stopped. And because the kids are afraid to do anything. But the police preach, if you see something, say something. So that should be the motto to these kids. You see bullying, you say something. You say it to a counselor, you say it to a teacher who's in the hall, say it to somebody to see if we can get it ended. And the people being bullied should also in these classes learn that you just don't keep it to yourself. Tell your parents. A lot of them didn't even know the kids were being bullied. Tell your parents about that, or tell a friend, or tell your guidance counselor, okay? I know the guidance counselors can't really do anything that's happening at home or on the phone, but they need to, I think, get together with the police department, because the police department has a lot more outreach. They could kind of go and see who's doing the bullying and stuff like that. So it'd be good if we teamed up with the police department and tried to form some kind of organization where we can counsel the kids and find out who's doing this to stop it, because it's something that needs to be stopped. And like I said, the police can do a lot more digging than we can to find out who's doing the bullying, to stop it from the person, and tell the kids, go to your guidance counselor. Go to your guidance counselor if you're really upset about this. Get some, counseling, and then they could maybe help you get this ended and teach kids to, yes, let's help each other. Okay, and then I just want to, after that, I would just want to say I hope Santa treats you all well. And since it's the holidays, there's cards, and they're all written in cursive. I got so many cards with cursive notes on them, and so it would be nice if we could know how to read them. So we need to get that into 4th and 5th grade. It's 2 days a week for a half hour each day to learn how to do cursive and learn how to read it. Everybody's going to come across it sometime in their life. And so we need to get that done. And whoever's holding it up in here, hope you make a New Year's resolution. Yes, I am going to get it done. I'm going to put it in 4th and 5th grade, and then you'll get rid of me. That should be a really good incentive, that I won't be up here bugging you about cursive writing. But everybody will come across it sometime in their life. Just how many Catholic schools are in this area is enough to, blow your mind. So we need to get that done. And we need to get the cursive writing in, and then you won't hear from me anymore. But otherwise, I'm not going away. Okay, have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Janice, you know it's not a meeting without you here. Patty Adonisio?
Okay, hi. First of all, thank you for the condolences for Ken speaking at the beginning of the meeting. As many of you know, he was a really important part of my family. So I am grateful, and I know that my family at home is as well. Okay, so back in October, on to the good news, right? So back in October, we had the district pink out for when we partnered with the district and RWJ for cancer awareness. So I just received last week a thank you card from them in the mail. I don't know if you guys did as well, but we raised $1,277 that went to their cancer center. So I wanted everybody to know that good things were happening. And Dr. Ferrara, did you mention Wilson's event tomorrow? I thought I heard that before. Listen, you gotta go. It's the best day of the year. So it is so much fun, and it really embodies the entire It embodies what the holiday season is really about. So it's my most favorite thing to go see ever, and I encourage everybody to go if they can get there. And I think I might be done. Other than thank you so much, we had a lot of successes this year. Even though we didn't always see eye to eye, we did solve the problems. We got a fair contract. So I wish you all a happy holiday and a very healthy new year.
Thank you. So that does conclude the hearing of the public. Before we adjourn, I, again, just wanted to wish everyone a very happy holiday and a happy and healthy new year, and we will see you next year. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Aye.